What is going on, guys? This is Miasin. So today I wanted to make a video on a deck I actually think is pretty good. It has a lot of good matchups all across the table, but especially against Standby Dragon, because you can skip their battle phase, right? With the graveyard effect of Churn Silence, and you got a bunch of hidden effects that people probably just don't really consider, and paired with each other, they become really threatening. Not to mention that this deck doesn't really care too much about the graveyard, so you can also play Shifter. Either in the main deck or as the side deck, it doesn't benefit off of Shifter, so I'd rather not have to main deck the card, but I would definitely side into it post game 1 because you can definitely do some nice things with your engine or with some other splashable cards, because this deck's engine is pretty compact, which allows you to play a lot of non-engine cards if you want to. You can play more hand traps, or you can play some other cards that allow you to just get your stuff going with one card, as I'm about to showcase in a few seconds. But before we go into the explanation of this deck's logic and why you should consider playing it if you want, a fun deck that can really compete with the meta, that is also, nostalgic, because, it is Yugi's deck at the end of the day. It is really based, and you get style points just for playing this deck, and also you deserve like a spot in my channel. If you get like a top 8 at a regional or something, you just let me know and I'll hook you up with the deck profile. But yeah, before we go any further, friendly reminder, of course, to smash the like and subscribe button. It really motivates me a lot to keep existing and breathing and making these videos. And without you guys, I would not be a thing. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so like I said, you can play a lot of hand traps, but I really decided to play Tharika Shtira Fenrir over any hand trap that wasn't Ash or Imperm in the main deck. These two hand traps are just insane. Like, they're completely cracked, so that's the reason why I'm still playing them, even though they're the only 6 hand traps that I'm running. But yeah, 3 Fenrir, pretty good card. It is also an Earth monster. So yeah, you could, and it's also a Psychic monster, so it's not like you're playing that many Earth anyways. You're only really playing Tricolor Gadget. But the fact that it's a Psychic, and then you got a Machines, Warrior, Spellcaster, Dragon, Fairy, everything lines up very well with There Can Only Be One. And again, it's just another card that plays by itself, that doesn't really require like the graveyard. So under Shifter, when you got cards like Fenrir, it's even better. And then I'm also obviously playing 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 Prosperity for more consistency. The majority of your extra deck you're not really going into, unless you've got this card right here, which is Branded Fusion. The only target that I have is Fallen of Albaz. If I'm trying to make the Lubellion for a Mirror Jade, then I'm going to be using the Gyas Gandora from the deck. It's not like it really does, again, anything in the graveyard. I do not believe you can special summon it from the graveyard either, unless there's like randomly a monster reborn that I'm unaware of. There might be, but I don't think so. You're really just special summoning from the deck, but you're especially searching the Gyas Gandora, and then you're summoning it, and then you're destroying yourself or your opponent, and then you're special summoning a monster from the deck, and then you can easily search your cards and special summon more monsters, such as Ties of Friendship. This card is basically Ties of the Brethren, but for the Yugi deck. Or I guess you want to say Gold Sarcophagus of Light. I think they actually changed the name. You got a lot of searchers, a lot of special summons, but Branded Fusion is a card that just allows you to not really have to rely on only your engine to win, because you can summon really impressive cards like Mirror Jade, or post game 1, you can go into Albion the Sanctifier Dragon using Jaugen the Spiritualist. So yeah, nobody's going to be seeing that coming unless they see Branded Fusion in game 1, in which case it might change something, but nobody's gonna side like freaking Forbidden Droplet or Dark Ruler against you. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, if you resolve 1 Branded Fusion, you might just already have game. Anyways, for the actual engine, right, because I still have to explain that at the end of the day, 3 Tricolor Gadget, this card is the Stratos of the deck. Or I guess, it is a Gadget monster, so it does search something, but it's better than the Gadget monsters, because on normal or special summon, you get to search your deck for either the Gold Sarcophagus of Light, which is, the heart and soul of the deck, which is also a searcher, or you get to search your deck for any spell or trap card that mentions it. And then when it is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can set 1 Stronghold, the Hidden Fortress, directly from your deck, which I am not playing because it is a brick. It's a trap card. It's a monster trap, just like Conquistador and Hakuero. And its effects are just not the best. It doesn't like completely suck, but it's too slow. It's a trap card, and it doesn't do anything. Like when you draw it, you want to only be able to set it from the deck when Tricolor Gadget dies, and yeah, it's just not good enough, right? But yeah, for the other monsters, 2 Silent Swordsman 0, so this card, it negates the activation of any of your opponent's spell cards, which is already really good, and then it gains 1 level, and then for each level that it has over 4, it gains 500 attack, and then every single standby phase, it will gain 1 level gradually, so it always gets stronger. It's really easy to have this card go to like a 3000 attack or 4000 attack. This one in particular, it becomes super like high attack, like really fast. So all these monsters, they start at 1000, but especially when you got cards that, like this one, it boosts the level of the monsters that you summon, depending on the amount of monsters that you destroy with Gas Gandora. So yeah, sometimes you just have like freaking 4k, 5k attack monsters, and then you kill your opponent in 2 seconds, even though this is not an OTK deck. And by the way, this deck obviously does not lose to Nibiru, because you are not spamming the board whatsoever. You're only really summoning like once, twice, 3 times, or maybe 4 times. So yeah, even if you're trying your hardest to lose to Nib, it's not gonna happen. Do not worry about it. But yeah, the difference, by the way, between Silent Swordsman 0 and Silent Magician 0, the Swordsman, it negates spell cards, and then, no, never mind, I'm actually extremely stupid. Silent Swordsman negates stuff that would either target your gold sarcophagus of light and or a monster that mentions it, whereas the Silent Magician 0 is the one that negates spell cards, negates the activation. So yeah, I mean, both of them negate the activation of something. So yeah, if your opponent goes like Branded Fusion, unfortunately, your opponent can go Branded Fusion again, and under Branded Lost, it's not going to do anything. But you know, it's still very good. So yeah, these 2 monsters, I think as 2 ofs is way more than enough. And then 2 Gas Gandora, again, as a 2 of, that's fine. Or as a 1 of, but then I don't believe this deck has too much recursion, so that's the reason why I'm playing 2. And then finally 2 Mashy Marshmallow. You do have to play 2 or 3 copies of this card, because 1 doesn't make sense. Because when this card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon one of your Mashy Marshmallow that is in your banished, or in your hand, or deck, or graveyard. And then your opponent is burned for 1,000. So you even have ways of like beating your opponent in time. No, I'm just kidding, because this card, if you want to destroy your own Mashy Marshmallow, you have to pay half of your life points. So yeah, you're 3k under your opponent. It's not the best deal, but you know, it's gonna be like really annoying for your opponent to out Mashy Marshmallow when you got this in Gold Sarcophagus of Light, because this is indestructible by battle. Your opponent is forced to attack the Mashy Marshmallow, so it's pretty much the same thing as Marshmallow and Marshmallow with glasses. As a matter of fact, that's the monster, right? It's the Marshmallow wearing its own glasses, so you have to attack it. It's really cute, and it has an effect to summon itself from your hand on your opponent's turn if you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light. Every single monster, really, they do nothing without Gold Sarcophagus of Light, except for Tricolor Gadget. This one is the only one that really, you know, gets your stuff going without the need of anything. But yeah, I can tell you right now that Tenpai Dragon has a terrible time killing this deck, because Gold Sarcophagus of Light cannot be destroyed by monster effects. So if they're trying to destroy this with the Biden Dragon's Graveyard effect, or the level 10 Transcend something, or Kui Belt, it's not gonna work. So your opponent needs like Duster or Lightning Storm, or needs to just banish your monsters, because again, if this card gets destroyed by card effect, you're just gonna float into another Mashy Marshmallow, and it still cannot be destroyed by battle. So you really do not need that much to beat Tenpai Dragon. It's beautiful. Like I said, this deck just randomly has a good matchup against the deck, and nobody's gonna read your freaking cards. It's freaking, it's the Yugi deck. Nobody cares about these kinds of decks, and because of that, it's so easy to outplay your opponents. Especially when you got a card like Silence Towards the Future. This card has like a hidden kind of Card of Sanctity anime version effect built in. So first of all, it is a quick play spell card that allows you to search a monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light. So again, another searcher, because Tricolor Gadget is already a searcher, and then this one is also a searcher. And if you're activating this card during the battle phase while you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, both players draw cards until they both have 6 in their hands. So that's, you know, that can be really, really nasty real quick. If your opponent has a bunch of cards in hand, he's not going to be drawing too much, but you're going to be drawing a lot. And yeah, you can really take advantage of your opponent's ignorance with cards like this one. And then Gold Sarcophagus of Light, like I said, cannot be destroyed by monster effects. And then during your main phase, you can search any card from your deck to your hand that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light except itself. And then if your opponent special summons a monsters from the grave, you can discard one spell, then target one of those monsters, send it to the graveyard. That effect doesn't really matter all that much usually, but still, I mean, you can like discard like surplus Branded Fusions if you draw a bunch. Or like when you go Mirror Jade, send like the Albion. That's going to be searching like a Branded Fusion on end phase. At least you've got like a discard fodder for Gold Sarcophagus of Light so that you can send monsters whenever your opponent goes like Monster Reborn, revive back something. So it's still an interruption. It's an interruption, a one-card combo. It's everything you could ask for, because this searches the Tricolor, and then this searches the Ties of Friendship, which then summons 2 monsters from the deck. And that's already really nice. So yeah, it's like I said, a lot of really nice consistency cards. And then Turn Silence. So this card is another way you can boost the attack and obviously the level, aka the attack of Silent Magician and Silent Swordsman 0. So again, another quick play spell card. Target one face of monster you control. Increase its level by 3. And if you activate this card in response to your opponent's monster effect activation while you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, any monster effect, like even in the hand, so you can chain this to like a Nibiru or Ash or like Veil or whatever, and you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, negate that opponent's effect, so you can negate a hand traps with this card, or like monsters on the field. You can even like break boards, like break Appaloosa for 4 with this card. And then during damage calculation, if your monster that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light battles, you can banish this card from the grave and then immediately end the battle phase. So again, another card that just demolishes Standby Dragon. So Mashi Marshmallow and the Turn Silence really cripples like one of the best decks in the format. And then finally, Ties of Friendship. Like I said, that's the Ties of the Brethren S card. Special summons 2 monsters that are level 4 or lower, different names from your hand or deck that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light, while you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, any monster that mentions it. And you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, but you can still summon, like, you can still go Branded Fusion first, summon Mirror Jade, and then summon something, and then go for Ties of Friendship. That is gonna work, no problem. And then finally, I wanted to play 2 copies of Triple Tactic Talons, but it could literally just be like more hand shops, as well as 1 copy of There Can Only Be One, because again, everything is a different type. Psychic, Machine, Warriors, Spellcaster, Dragon, Fairy, and then like Aware in the extra deck, another dragon. Just, it's really convenient, and even the rest of the extra deck is also very diversified. Speaking of which, we got 2 Mirror Jade. I don't know how often this is gonna come up, but you can go Lubellion into Mirror Jade, shuffle back your monsters, and then go for another Mirror Jade. Albion the Sanctifier Dragon for the Jowgin, Albion as well as Lubellion, and then Zeus, Typhon, Baguska, just good cards. And then Blackluster Soldier of Chaos, because you can summon this with like level 4s when they become level 7, because they keep gaining levels either manually or off of Turn Silence or off of Gias Gandora. And then access code Celine, you can revive back the Silent Magician 0, which is your spellcaster, and then Lena the Light Charmer. Again, you can make it with Silent Magician 0, so this and any other monster with a bunch of spells engraved can link climb into access code and kill your opponent. And then Ossa the Earth Charmer, because of Tricolor Gadget and Fenrir. Espilo Knight, and finally IP Masquerena. So yeah, 15 cards in the extra deck. And for the side deck, 1 Jowgin, triple Shifter, triple Dark Ruler, or whatever can break boards, like Forbidden Droplet, whatever. 3 Cosmic, and then 2 Lightning Storm for back row decks, and 3 D-Bearer when you are going first, but it can be like more Floodgates or whatever you see fit. Yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Peace.